Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, coming at you live to talk about episode 8 of ClassicaLoid Season 2. And I was pretty much laughing my ass off throughout the entirety of this episode because it begins with this unchecked, unbridled irony. Everyone wants to come together cumulatively to stop Motes from lying, from being a loudmouth, from being a pest, a disturbance in the manor house. And they all, they're all focusing on the fact that he lies all the time. So what are they going to do in order to quell this? They're going to lie out their asses. They all become just insane liars, making up this whole story. And I swear to God, I was just laughing my ass off when they concoct this sort of Pinocchio syndrome thing. They have Dovo-chan made up to look like Beats. And apparently, if you lie too much, you're going to turn into a hippo. That's why he is a hippo. And I love Chopin's little, oh, that's preposterous, But then you see, they actually make up Dovo-chan to look like Beats because he told him, oh, I'm not going to grind my teeth overnight. And then, of course, he does naturally. I guess Beethoven is just given to that. Beats is just given to that. And so Mozart wakes up the next day not believing this story at all. One iota. He considers it, a nice, valiant effort at a prank, playing a prank on him. But then he wakes up and there is Dovo-chan made to look like Beats. It looks like Beethoven has transformed into a hippo because he lied. And as soon as you see Dovo-chan with the wig and the jacket and the jeans and everything, oh my God, I lost it. I had not expected that at all. And so Mozart is on the up and up, but it sort of backfires because rather than stopping lying, he decides, he makes this sort of leap of faith that, okay, well, in order to make sure this isn't going to happen to me, I got to make sure everything that I've said actually becomes true. So he told Sosuke, I'm going to introduce you to some girls. He pseudo-ly introduces him to the girls he already knows. I think that was Mozart's fan club, Kanai's classmates. And stuff like that, one after the other. He's doing all this stuff. And he just happened to, like the day before, be out for a walk. He trips over his shoes or whatever it is. And he meets this little girl, Mari, who is 7 years old. And there is this recollection that is spurned on by seeing her face, calling back to his past. I love how we find how deeply, delving into his past this all goes. This almost like, forgotten memory of Marie Antoinette and everything. And how when he was a young man, he met her and wanted to marry her. And that's how he felt in the moment, her beauty. He was awestruck by her and all these things. And so he became kind of gallant, calling back on his past. And so in that moment, he recaptures that by proposing marriage to this 7-year-old girl, Mari, who conveniently, her family is moving, left, right, and center. They're always on the move. She's never in the same place for too long a time, and all of her friends forget about her, and she's miserable. She doesn't want to move again. And so this will concrete her to this spot. If she accepts Mozart's proposal, when you're of age, we'll get married. So she gets to stay here. She doesn't have to move. She doesn't have to leave this school behind and all this stuff. And it's actually kind of heartbreaking, but at the same time, it's absurd. You don't go proposing to a 7-year-old, Motes. That's wrong, But it is kind of sweet how it plays back on the memories that he has, and it is kind of sweet how they sort of, make recompense of the entire scenario. All the while, I might add, nobody told Schubert about this elaborate lie that this is Dovo-chan, it's not Beats. And so he's like losing his ever-loving mind. He is paying so much attention to Dovo-chan as Beats, thinking it's Beats. And finally, he decides he's going to tell a lie. That's the only way he'll ever be able to communicate and commune with his master ever again, is if he too becomes Hippo. And he completely believes it's possible that, all he has to do is lie. tell the most egregious lie ever, and he'll turn into a hippo as well. And it's absolutely hilarious. I was dumbstruck, awestruck, all in the same the same moment. When he finally tells his lie, you know, Mari's mother comes looking for her. She's imploring her, please come home. Please, you know, we have to move. We don't want to leave you and all this stuff. We love you and everything. And so Shub points at Dovo-chan dressed as Beats and says, this is Mari. Mari, the Mari you're talking to now, that's Beats. He turned into her because she turned into the hippo. And he's so self-satisfied. He's so self-ingratiated by this. It's like, any moment now, I'm going to be a hippo. You know? And the whole time he's poogie, poogie, poo, 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 you know, to Dovo-chan thinking it's Beats. I love when the other leg drops. The last scene of the episode when, you know, like Mari had gone exploring on the grounds of the manor house and had run into Beats, and what the hell was the outfit he was wearing? Like short shorts and a little vest with an apple on it. In hiding, in a tent. All for a good cause, trying to quell the madness that is and the absurdity that is Mozart. You know, she runs into Beethoven and he gives her gyoza, and you know, Kanai's like, no, that's just a gyoza fairy or whatever, and all this stuff, lying out her ass. Everyone is lying out their ass as a result of wanting to try to get Mozart to stop lying. So that final shot of here is Shub. He's dressed in nothing but shorts. He's like checking himself out in the mirror. He's like, any second, I'll be able to commune with my master. I am going to become a hippo. And Dovo-chan is like right down behind him, like just sort of like, mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, here comes Beats walking through. Eating the gyoza. He completely walks past, and you see a stunned Shub like, huh? And then Beats comes back. And he's like, poogie, poogie, poogie. Oh my god. Poking complete and utter fun at Shub for being a dimwit and everything. And so this was, I mean, this had everything. This episode, it had me cracking up. It had me drawn in, you know, tugging on the heartstrings of what the plight of this little girl, Mari, you know, what she was dealing with, having to move and lose her friends time and time and time again. And the sweetness of the overture that came out of Mozart's own memories, you know, recollecting back to Marie Antoinette and how he felt about her. And you know, it wasn't romantic, it was a friendship. It was a bond of friendship that was born between them, and he promises her in the end. And then, you know, ends up being able to fulfill that promise through his summoning of the musique, to give her a grand ball, to give her a grand wedding, make her, you know, feel like she's fit for being a princess, all decked out in a dress, a gown, and everything like that. All this beauty. And then he promises her, the one final promise is, I won't forget you. I'll never forget you. You know, and then, of course, she says the same. But then after she leaves, he's like, well, you know, you never know. It could be true. I mean, maybe I'm still safe. Maybe I won't be a hippo because I could still marry her eventually one day in the future. And that's when they're all like, yeah, Mozart, about that whole turning into a hippo thing. You know? And I'm almost surprised that they ended up admitting the fact that it was all a complete, you know, BS story, that was all malarkey. I half expected them to just let him continue to think that, you know, that it was all legit. But this was a fun episode. Again, it had everything. It had a little bit of emotion to it. It had a little bit of calling back on the history of the real Mozart. It had, you know, just hilarity out the wazoo. And this is what I love. I love episodes of ClassicaLoid like this where it has a little bit of everything like that. And it was a thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyable watch. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of episode 8 of ClassicaLoid Season 2, if you've seen it as well, if you enjoyed it as much as I did. If not, why not? Let me know in the comments below. It's all about the topic of talk and having a great discussion about shows like this that I just love and adore. And, but yeah, I can't wait to see what's going to be happening in the next one. Otherwise, it'll be pretty much it for me on this. Well, this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.